now, from Tyler, Texas, Meredith.
I'm playing the Prelude and Fugue from the 5th Bach Suite.
Great. Can't wait. I'm just going to go along. That was fabulous.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Wasn't that great? Very, very good. Fabulous. And, before we came out, Meredith said, I said, what do you want to talk about? I said, well, I don't know, pick your brain about things, and I just don't want my hands to fall off. Your hands didn't fall off, did they?
No.
Okay. Did they feel? 1, 2, okay. Did they feel like they needed to fall off, or?
No, it was okay, I
Yeah?
guess. Yeah.
Oh, so what did you do that made them not fall off?
I was trying to stay really loose.
Ah,
Yeah.
stay loose, hands stay on, right? Okay, good, very good. Because I thought you did incredibly well. You had wonderful, wonderful sound, and is that a hard piece to memorize?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
It's hard to memorize because it's really long and
Long, yeah.
yeah.
And what else about what do you love about the prelude? What do you love about the prelude? What do you love about the fugue?
I love the prelude because it's very improvisatory feeling, and I like the fugue because the dance-like pulse just continues throughout the whole thing.
Mhm.
But then there are also moments of slight relaxation in the middle, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And if you were to tell, if I'm a friend, and I hope you think of me as a friend, but I don't know anything about the cello, and you're going to play this piece for me, and I really don't like this kind of stuff, not my kind of thing, right? Okay. So, generally stringed instruments, percussion, much better, and so, and you want to convince me to show up and hear you play this piece. What do you say to me? Hey, JoJo.
This piece is really cool because you get to just rock out on the cello.
Yeah? Oh, but cello's like one instrument. I'm used to, I like bands, and I like, how are you going to make me get excited with, a bowed instrument?
Well, you can play really loud and really soft.
Okay. But how is it different from other pieces that I've heard that I didn't get?
Well, it doesn't need any percussion backup for this sort of piece. It's all one instrument.
Is it one instrument and it's just one voice?
No, there are many voices going on at once.
Oh, but you can only play one note at once. How do you do different voices?
Well, you can pretend like there are two different voices going on in your head when you're playing it.
But I don't like this stuff, and I can't get into your head. So, how am I going to get inside your head? Can you give me some hints?
Well, there are different ways to approach it.
Well, show me how you do a couple voices, Like show me, JoJo is here, and show me, Meredith, why this is pretty cool. so you kind of do different sounds for different voices?
Yeah.
Like, like, like those movies, like people's voices come in different characters and stuff.
Yeah.
What about the beginning? Is that so slow? It's kind of boring. What is that a lot of, is that a lot of voices here too?
No, the beginning is just kind of like, it should sound like I'm just making it up almost.
Okay, but but it is just one voice?
Basically, I don't know.
I mean, they look like stacks of pancakes out there. They're like 4 things.
Yeah.
So what's that?
I guess there's an underlying bass line going on throughout the whole thing.
Oh, really? I love bass lines. Oh, cool. Can you show me what the bass line is? Can you just, show me? What's the first one? Is that a bass line right there? Oh, is it still that note that's a bass line, or what is it? Which one is it? So what's the bass line? Oh, so they're like 3 pancakes, stacked, but still the big mother pancake is still the lower note, right? So start again. So I want to see how you improvise on this prelude and with those, I love bass lines. Okay, let's do it again. Well, go ahead. Play the bass line only. No, actually, you know what? Go ahead. Keep on. Oh, mein Gott. You mean you are basically playing this funny looking instrument and you've actually essentially played one long note all this time, and I actually get to hear while you're kind of improvising on top of it. But since you're not holding it all the time, and they're not into your mind as much as I'm into your mind, and because I can read your mind right now, you told me some things. Can you convince them that this is going on, that's actually more important than anything else that you're playing because you can't hold it on all the time? It's like those silly things your parents used to tell you, don't forget to lock the door, and you're away and you kind of, suddenly that voice comes in again. Make sure it never leaves, okay? So what does that mean? So give me like a way of thinking about the note that we shall not talk about because they might get too excited about bass lines. But so can you tell me a strategy you can have that if you agree with me that there's this one note that is going on all the time, whether you're holding it or not, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bars until, the earth moves again and you get to a G. So what would be your strategy?
Playing it really fast. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a good strategy.
Just always accentuating the low.
Okay,
No.
accentuating, like playing it softer? Playing it softer?
Just thinking of a constant line.
Okay.
Louder.
Okay, all right. No, just I thought you said that. Anyway, see if you can. So play that for now louder than any other notes that we're going to hear, and let's see whether this works. Okay, go. Okay, so basically, do you guys hear that very long 9-bar pedal point? And then you're on a G for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. So 9 bars, 5 bars, and then you have 2 chord changes for 3 chord changes for 2 bars, and you finally get to E flat major. So if you think, one of the things, so if you were to describe this prelude emotionally, just give me some words that describe that beginning prelude.
It's very dark and pensive,
Okay?
and a little stormy, maybe.
Dark and stormy, dark and stormy. Obviously. Okay, and does it happen in a small space? Does this happen in a tunnel? Is this music is it indoors, outdoors? Is it it's dark? Is it what? Describe the space that this music lives in.
I think of, well, it's like nighttime with the darkness, and then it's a very big, vast space, like an ocean or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because one of the things that you can do with time, if you think, you can determine, and the great thing about playing alone, you can determine every single dynamic. You could say, this is fortissimo and it's beep. You can say, this is, you can determine the scale of whatever you do. So if you decide that you have a C that lasts 9 measures, and then you have a G that goes 5 measures, and then you can set up and say 9 bars is 1 beat, as easily as that. Just as much as you can go, but you can say 1 measure is 1 beat. 2, da ya ba 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 da 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 3 da da 4 da 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 5 da 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 6 da 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 7 da 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 da. So that could be 8 bars, could be 1 phrase. And if you ever get stuck, like, how Schubert will have 16-bar phrases, but that actually are like 4 bars, right? So if you start counting every beat and whatever, it sounds like a very, very, very long phrase, but actually, if you think in terms of units of time, then it actually is, it can fit into your ocean, space, nighttime analogy by being incredibly spacious, and that's just 1 beat. Because if you're crossing an ocean, hey, it's going to be not, 32,000 beats, but maybe it's going to be 300 beats. Do you see what I mean? They can get into your head if you decide what time is. Does that make sense? Okay, so we'll come back to this in a little bit. I don't want to spend overly too much time, but I would like to kind of go on with the fugue and think whether you can think the largest possible time so that it rolls more easily in your head and you don't have to overstrain. Okay? So I'm just going to help you out by naming bar numbers, and you just start, okay? Bum, bum. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now, what kinds of phrasings did we get to? Did you hear? What was it? Was it a lot of 8-bar phrases? Was it a lot of what did you hear?
Asymmetry.
What?
Asymmetry.
Asymmetry. Does that happen often, Michael? Bach asymmetry? I thought Bach was very square. No? Okay. He's looking tired. I'm not going to bother. I'm saying running this place. I mean, it's only been 25 years. You'd think for Michael, 25 years was like one breath. So that's a short time. Now, we're talking.
Next year will be one.
Oh, yes, exactly. When he gives the downbeat, it's 26 years. Okay. So, all right. So now. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's really weird.
But isn't that incredibly cool?
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. And I think if you kind of put this together in a way, and actually, I think the best way to learn something often is that you try to become, see, you were trying to get them into your head, which was hard because you had to but you can then share enough things that they can get inside your head. But the coolest thing is you can get into his head and say, what is your, phrasing scheme? How are you making this little plan for this little structure, or this large structure, in this case, for Bach Suite, that's probably the largest structure we have in all the Bach, right? So what does it tell you when you have 7, 9, 5, 14? Why are they asymmetrical?
Well, I don't know. I guess that's the mystery of Bach, of why he decided to make each one at whatever times, but it all makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say.
Do you think that's what contributes sometimes to it being hard to memorize?
Possibly, yeah. But if you think of each of the arrival points, then it's easy to block off each of the sections to memorize it.
I think you're absolutely right. We may not solve all of the mysteries today, but I think you are going to discover some pretty nifty things that you can then share with other people, either by playing or telling them. But I think that one thing that I know will help hands not falling off is that you can actually take it easy while you're in one 7-bar sort of long phrase. So you're just going and going. Whoa! We're now looking at another vista in the MTT National Park. And then whoa! And then you see the old geezer, not me. I keep, Old Faithful, is out there doing its thing, and then you go, oh, and then there's a waterfall, and there's like that. So basically, that would be really great, and maybe the beginning is like you're in some grotto or cave, and it's like, whoa. And then you get to, whoa. It's like you're now in another vista. So focus on those things. Now I'd like you to go back to the beginning. I understand, geyser. I always get confused. Now, but I'm going to... Yeah.
So you keep using this word head, your head, and head. And therefore, the piece is a representation. And therefore, you see, Bach keeps saying something rather in your head, get into Bach's head, So yes, so what we're saying is the piece itself is a representation, as so much classical music is, of thought. It is a representation of the process of thought itself, right? And even the prelude, which is basically a fantasy, and Bach, and not to mention his sons, say the purpose of the fantasy is to mirror thought, to mirror the mercurial possibilities of thought. And as a pianist, that I'm always humbled by the fact that on the piano, you play a note, that's the end of it. You play it, and now you listen to it die away, and then you have to play another note at some point. Or you can put the pedal down, which a little bit masks the fact that the notes are dying away. But you guys, you have this amazing possibility of sustaining the note, which means that in the intention of how the note sustains or decays is a huge message that's suggesting like the chord is sounded and then, well, yes, I think maybe we're going in that direction, and now I see that it's going to be converted, whatever, that inside of the chord, the fragments of which are sounding over what Yo-Yo was saying, the long bass line, the listener is clued into just motivationally what is happening.
Interesting that you bring up sort of articulation of piano versus articulation on stringed instruments. Right, but I would venture to kind of do a little riff on the beginning C in the following way. That if you go, if you go like this, when you touch it again, you know when you get a ball spinning, you don't kind of stop it and then you spin it again. You just kind of keep it going. So that you go you don't need to do that, but you need to make sure that Bach is so much in people's minds. Maybe that's a big so and if you can get people to go when you get to the G, you've created a long enough C. Now, I'm going to ask you to do that, and I'm just going to play on top of it, just play the C. Go ahead. Wait, do this again. Just play it. So all you do is hold on to the C until the C. Okay, is that a long enough energy for 9 bars? Okay, so give me a gesture the way Michael would give you a gesture that says essentially, this is a beat that's going to last 9 bars. And you look at me and make sure that I get that from your thought. This is your intention. That's the 9-bar gesture. Do you hear that? Does that, now, I'm gonna ask Meredith to do the top part, and I'm gonna do the bottom part, and let's try to make sure, pretend you are an organ, I'm gonna be an organ, and just press down the C to the G, and then we're gonna try something else. Okay. Holding on to the notes. Did that change any time that you were playing any of the chords, any of the other notes?
Yeah, there was a lot more tension in some of the peak moments of the phrase.
Can you point out one moment of tension and just play that, whatever felt more tense? Or tense? Just for kidding. This is good. Now we got the structural stuff out of the way. Let's talk about how the genius of your being able to keep something going on in their heads and also keep it going on in your head when it's not there. So, you know, it's like if I'm standing here all the time, you're going to feel a certain amount of discomfort, right? And let's say I go away and get some coffee, you're going to feel more comfortable. But if you actually think, I haven't left and I'm still there, you're going to feel uncomfortable even though I'm not there, right? So one way of doing this is to try, so if you have it in your head, you could hold it. Doesn't matter how long. Actually do the impossible thing, which is to keep a thought going when you don't have the wherewithal to actually keep it going, and you suggest it. And the power of suggestion, I would like to claim, is one of the things that makes this piece so extraordinarily powerful. Because, you know, for example, fear is never the thing itself. you're afraid of something. If you're thinking of something incredibly grand, you can't face the grand thing all the time. Say, oh wow, this is really grand. Oh, yeah, the national park, same national park, yeah, huge, really, yeah. It's like you have to kind of see it in different ways for the grandeur to hit you, right? In the morning, in the dark, in so many different ways. And if you can find a way, and my sort of suggestion is that you find a way of getting the articulations, all the melody stuff, the melody, think about it. Melodies, the ear always gravitates towards. Basically, we all always hear melody. So often it's what is not melody. If you want to show something, you can actually play the melody softer. So if you play a disproportionate, bass sound, and one for 9 measures, and then another one for 5, you're asserting an idea. And that's when the idea becomes powerful. And that's what all of you can experiment with, stuff like that. Okay? So let's go to the fugue for a little bit, and then we're going to stop. I want to suggest, actually, let's go towards the end. I'm just going to point out a couple of things. When you go, what happens between the beginning of, what actually happens? What's different? What's the change between the voices?
Instead of going up here, it goes down.
Yeah. And is it the same distance?
No.
So what's different?
I guess it's, actually it's the same.
It's the same, but is the interval?
The interval is
same,
different,
is
but-
the distance the same?
No.
Really? Okay. So
Yeah.
what's different?
It's a much bigger distance.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting. Do you think that has any significance?
Yeah.
What do you think is the significance?
This is much more dramatic.
More dramatic. Ooh. And is this towards the beginning or the end?
The end.
Oh, the end. Oh, more dramatic towards the end. Okay. Recurring theme, more dramatic towards the end. Okay, that's all. Okay, now you can actually pretend distance doesn't exist, or you can say, this is incredibly important. It's your decision in interpreting something and say, okay, I'm going to get into this guy's head. What does he mean by that? Distance could be 10,000 miles, but it could be the same position crossing one string, but that could mean 10,000 miles, right? You can determine that, and you can let us feel that distance and make that important. And the fact that it's around, can you go from, let's see. Yeah, go from here. Da 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 da. you guys are applauding. Can you tell me what the effect is of hearing those bass notes as Meredith is playing? What do you get from this? Anybody? Hmm? Direction. Okay, what else? Passion. Okay, something else? Excitement. Excitement. What? Stable? Stability. Oh, passion, stability, excitement. Anybody else? Huh? Grandeur. Oh, all very good things. So these are things that, in spite of the fact that I really don't like the cello so much, and I like percussion instruments, that that you can actually create all of those things. And I would like to add one more thing, so that within the context, if you establish the sort of the unusual the phrase lengths, and you try and go as regular as possible, that when it starts to go da ba ba da 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 ba da 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 da, you try and go within the beat, but maybe you're elbowing, but you're not saying, I'm going to go ba 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 da 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 ba ba. You know what I mean? So that way you're actually increasing, by narrowing the flexibility you might have, you are increasing the tension, and when you get to the long sort of drones, that adds another level of tension, right? So you have the spatial tension between things, you have the phrase length tension, that what he's fooling around with that, so that you're kind of both unstable but also stable because of the drone notes. But then it starts to change. And in major. So it's like he's throwing everything in the kitchen sink at you, right? And it's that one poor cello that you play that is so boring and single line, and you created an incredible structure, but it's through understanding those things and really making yourself believe it. And you have to make them believe it. When it's not there, you have to believe it even more. Got it? So it's got to affect everything you do. So you're playing it B natural, and it sounds fine, B natural, but you hear the C underneath it, it should give you agony, right? Okay, great, thank you.